Hello and welcome to the pre-event for the 2017 ACE Symposium, where we're discovering how to claim your authority, elevate your status, and monetize your tribe. I'm your hostess, Patricia Rezzatello. In this session, in this little mini interview, we are talking with Joe Nicassio, who will be presenting next week on how to use our uniqueness to establish our authority. So Joe, tell us a little bit about you. How did you get your start?
Wow, if you go way back, I was involved in electronics and electrical engineering and analog electronics and radio and television and computers, and I made $1 million and I lost everything. So my start, I had this midlife crisis. It kind of turned into a midlife calling because after I lost everything, I made the money and I loved it, but after I lost everything, it really humbled me and made me go on a quest for the truth of what really works. And every master was once a disaster, and I got fortunate that during that time, you get to a fork in the road. Do you go for the money or do you go for the wisdom about the money? And I went for the wisdom, and it delayed my money a long time, but as a result, I think I have a really good grasp of the truth of what works in business, what works in marketing, what works in selling, and what works in creating something that's enduring, so that people don't just pay you begrudgingly, they actually pay you and say thank you, because you're creating the ultimate win-win business scenarios.
So what kind of entrepreneurs, business owners, business people do you work with?
I work with basically two categories of people. I work with people that are already in business, but they want to go to another level. They want motivation every day, but more important than that, they want to be mentored or coached by the best. And they want to have their best possible business. They want their best life ever, and they know that a better business equals a better life. And so that group of people are people that are doing good, but I help them go from good to great, or if they're doing great, I help them go from great to world class. I also work with another group of people, and this is really the primary, if you call it a niche market, is the startup entrepreneurs. So I work with, I help transform employees into entrepreneurs so they can escape their soul-sucking jobs, because there's a whole lot of people that they want to have their own business. They have a job, they don't like it. They know they want to have their own business, but they don't know the steps to get there. And so I've created a program that gets you from there to there, and I hold my clients' hands through the process so that, in 90 days, they've got the fundamentals in place so they can start getting their cash register to ring. Now, what this isn't a get-rich program, it's really a get your fundamentals strong program. I believe success is inevitable when you master the fundamentals. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people have never been mentored or coached or taught or educated the fundamentals of creating a business that works. Because you know what? It's not guesswork. It's a science, and it's a proven science. We know it works.
Yeah, great. So in your presentation next week, we will be talking about how to use our uniqueness to establish our authority. Why is this so important?
Well, if you don't establish yourself as unique or special or different, if you don't position yourself as having a unique expertise, and you're lucky to be in business in the first place. You need to sort yourself from the rest of the pack. It's actually super critical. It's super critical, and the reason why is because if we don't do this, we're a commodity. So, for example, I'm a marketing coach, or if you're a plumber, there's a plumber is a plumber is a plumber, and if you see all plumbers is the same, then the only criteria from which to judge them is low price. But if you can establish yourself as a specialized plumber, as somebody who gets there quick, who won't leave a mess, who does something unique, has a written guarantee, all of a sudden you're different.
Who actually answers their telephone.
Huh?
Who actually answers their telephone when you call.
Yeah, we're not going to treat you you know, we could be like every other plumber that just, you know, unclogs clogged drains, or we could be that plumber that just fixes those leaky pipes. But you know what? A plumber can do a lot of things. They can they can improve a bathroom or a kitchen, which improves the value of real estate. You know,
Yeah.
they can add that bathroom addition. They can take out your normal bathtub and put in a jacuzzi tub. When you start showing that I don't just do the basic stuff, but I'm a specialist, I'm a pro, I've got a menu of services, I offer things that other people don't offer, all of a sudden you just stand out above the noise. So if there's a noise level, it's like there's a spike. You just stand out. So the universe wants to make you into a commodity, which is just about price. But when you are unique and special and different, then you become a one-of-a-kind proprietary. You know, it's like you don't just, you know, it's really great if you're unique and special, you can be a preferred choice. But if you really nail this down, you can be the only choice.
Yeah, yeah, and as far as a plumber goes, I could see a person establishing a business where all they did was unclog toilets, and they had, you know, this whole crew standing by, and they promised they'd be there in an hour or less, or something like that. That'd be really nice.
Let me tell you how important this is. Let me tell you how important this is. I had a client that was a plumber. That's probably was the top of mind awareness. You know, this is somebody I worked with, and that's what they did. They did clog drains, and that, you know, all their service calls were about that. And I had them like, what are all the ways you can help somebody? By the way, their average ticket was like $100 plus or minus. You know, maybe 80 to maybe 200 was kind of their average transaction, which isn't that much. But what I did is by the way, the name of the company was Lasco's Plumbing and Heating back in, I think it was in the Carolinas. But what we did is I had them put together a list of all the ways that you can help your customers. Like, and they ended up coming with like 27 ways that Lasco Plumbing and Heating can help you. And they just printed this on a piece of paper. So when they went in for the drains or the leaks, they educated the customer. We do other stuff. Guess what? They started doing bathroom additions. They started doing kitchen remodels. And their average transaction went from like 1 or 200. They started actually getting like $10,000 gigs, which bumped their average trans up to several $1,000s. Can you see how powerful that is?
Yeah, that's awesome. So what problems do you see businesses commonly having in this area of differentiation?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they say why should we pay you more? Well, we have great quality, we have great service, we have great dependability, and the problem with that is everyone's saying the same stuff, and so at some level, I mean, it's nice to say, you know, we're high quality. It's nice to say that you can depend on us, but if everybody's saying the same thing, then you're right back at that commodity level. So you need to say it. You need to really show the uniqueness, the difference. You need to articulate why you're special and what talents do you bring. And really, more important than anything, how are you different in terms of the result you get for the customer? You know, because people don't buy our awesomeness. People buy self-interest. And when, you know, it's like we spend money on things that improve our life, that improve our conditions. And so if a plumber is a plumber is a plumber, then, you know, it's really hard to stand out from the crowd. But if all of a sudden, if you're unique and special and different, you stand out from the crowd. And did I answer your question?
I think so.
Okay.
It's important to differentiate yourself, because then you're not a commodity. And people will pay you more.
And is giving 3 and 4 dimensions to your message. Painting. A lot of people don't paint a picture of what the outcome looks like. How I'm better off served by you over every other choice. It's a failure of vision and sharing and articulating the vision.
Absolutely. So when a business this piece out, what happens to the business?
Say that again.
When a business, what their USP should be, what their uniqueness is, what happens within the business
After they discover it? Well, it
Yeah.
transforms everything. Think of a company like FedEx. Okay, they have a very, they started off with a very strong USP, which is when it absolutely positively has to get there overnight. That, first of all, that made them unique and special. It took them from 25th in overnight shipping to number one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like really quick. But what did it do? Is number one, it made it clear to the marketplace. Number two is it made them stand out from the competition. Number three is it actually became a mission statement internally for the employees. So they were motivated, inspired to do whatever it takes to get it there absolutely positively overnight. So it actually impacted the internal behavior of the employees so that they were on a mission to make that happen.
Absolutely.
There's a whole bunch of ripple effects. But now what you're doing is building a brand. So when people have a problem, they think of you because you are special, and so you stand out in their brain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to do, isn't it?
It is. That's the whole point of what we're doing here, is to help people with their businesses to stand out of the crowd, stand out, to be something special.
Yep. Any other
Thank
questions?
you, Joe. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So the presentations for the 2017 ACE Symposium start Monday, September 25. They run through Friday. To get to the link in the comments, so everybody make sure that you get your free ticket over to, and we'll see you there.
See you there.